Will it be our best Thanksgiving ever? I'm going to actually read it and tell you what it says. It says, without a doubt, you guys, it's our best Thanksgiving ever. That's exciting. Wow, that's really cool. We should all think about what our previous best Thanksgiving was and what were the elements of it. Today, we're talking about gratefulness, but also generally how we're surviving the holidays. Now, at the beginning of all this, back with 100 days of the last of the year, and just with all of our talk about the holidays, and my number one strategy is always, hey, you guys, just grind, like get super strict and get through that whole holiday season, change your life. Like basically, just stay strict and keep doing it. And so, people out there crushing it in that way, good for you. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And we can talk more about how to handle tomorrow if you're an American or whatever else. But people in that category, I am excited to see what your results are and what your report is for this holiday season. Okay. But I also know there are a lot of people not in that. Okay. And looking at how to survive tomorrow and the days that come and all of that. And my little message to you is that it's very easy to end up in this mindset of, well, I didn't stay super strict. And so I'm going to eat that thing, and then to let the eating kind of snowball. And it is important to maybe take a step back and realize that for some of us, the amount of eating we can do in a weekend, this 4-day weekend, when there's all this food around, all of it, that it's going to take a couple of months maybe to undo what we just did in those 4 days. So kind of be mindful of your decisions. And, if you're going to indulge or whatever, you need to have the boundaries and the exit strategies to get out of that. And I think that it's easier to implement those boundaries and those exit strategies if you have that actual discussion with yourself in advance about how much damage these different decisions can do and whether it's worth it. Like maybe it's worth it to you, and that's fine, whatever the case. But to me, am I going to indulge for 4 days so that I have to work it off for 2 months? No. No, 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 no. So I'm not, once I've become now in my life, as I've become more mindful of like paying the cost of that, I'm just far less likely to do it. And so I encourage everybody to kind of weigh that. And some of us overeat more than others. So and some of us, it's going to take longer to lose the weight. And so it's a calculation we all need to make. How much will we gain from that? We all kind of know how much we're likely to gain. And then how long will it flip and take to lose it? All right. And there's so many ways we can enjoy this weekend without eating the whole pie. Okay. So, you guys, well, I'm excited because it turns out it looks like my dad is actually going to join us today. And so the reason he's joining us today, you guys haven't seen him on a video, is that how we're trying to do those interview videos. So we're going to do an interview of my dad, and that it requires getting in here and being part of this video. And so said, oh, well, let's just test it on an actual live video. And so that is why he's here today. Okay. And it looks like it might work. Huh? Okay. But hey, good morning, everybody. Let me just scroll up because Tina from Northern California. Tina, isn't the weather great this week? I mean, it's really been nice here. So Tina's not too far from us. And it's just been wonderful here. Yeah. And so, hey, good morning, Cammie and Ellen. Ellen, how's the weather back there? Let's see, Terry, Northeastern Oregon. I'd love to be there right now. That would be so great. Oh, and Brenda, you did jump in and you're watching on the bus. Okay, that's awesome, Brenda. I hope if you're still here, I hope you're still here. Good to see you. And yeah, go crush it, Brenda. Okay, awesome. Pamela from Oklahoma and Faith from Nevada, probably also having similar weather as us. You're not really too far from us as the crow flies. It's quite a number of hours of driving, but kind of we're like cousins. And Judy, good morning, Judy and Tommy. Um, Anna made a comment. Anna's also backstage. Let's see, Geraldine, feeling blessed. Thank you, Geraldine. Wonderful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Now, I want to just a little shout out for people who are members of the Deep Den who have struggled to figure out where to find the Project Hub. I put a link in the description of this video that takes you to that Den link. So you would need to be logged in and a member, okay, and logged in, and it will walk you through how to get into the Project Hub. And I bring this up in the context of Geraldine because Geraldine had some problems getting in. And, it's like anything else in life where there's that little tech hurdle, kind of like getting my dad on here today. Like he's got to have that experience at least once to know, like, okay, this is how it works. And so then to just get past that, we'll help you. Okay. I sat on one of these live videos with Geraldine, and until she got into the Zoom where the Project Hub is. So the link is there for people who have been, because Mary posted on a YouTube video about 5 days ago, and Mary has had a hard time figuring out how to get in. And so it's really simple, but I appreciate that, like, I appreciate that there's so many things in life that are simple, but on a very long to-do list. And oh my gosh. So especially in the tech department. All righty. Hey, good morning, Jen. Let's see. And so I wonder how the weather is down there, Jen. And Northern Virginia. Oh, and Ruth Ann, you're in Hemet. I think I knew that. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So she's north. Okay. Good morning, Lisa. And it's a little chilly. Are you guys in like actual coat weather? Because we're not in coat weather yet. We're just in this. Moved from the short sleeve t-shirts to this. That's it. Oh, and hey, Rosie's here. Let's see. Oh, look, there's Frederick. Hey, Frederick. And Alistair. Hey, come say hi.
Hey.
And see, Cosette's from Indiana. We're just talking about the weather. Now look at these guys. I don't know if they can hear you because I have this going on.
Maybe
Here, yeah.
Yeah.
Say hi, right?
Hello, everybody.
That's my earpiece. Say it into there.
Hello, Bears. Happy Thanksgiving.
Alistair.
Hey, Bears. Hey.
Okay. No, what I wonder is did it sound like they were shouting or something? Oh my goodness. Yes, look at those handsome faces. Come here. Let's look here. We should do will be our Thanksgiving family shot. Okay, bring your A game. Boy, there you go, Frederick. Bring your A game to our Thanksgiving family shot. Okay. Good. Okay, family photos are taken care of. Check. Check. We did it. Okay. I am grateful. Come here. Oh, there they are. Oh my gosh. Because, they're both in school now. This one, no, I'm backwards. This one just drove in last night from college, but this one is in a new high school, and there's a lot of days of the week that I don't even see him because he's in a different town now. That's a whole other story. Some of you guys have heard about it, but anyway, so families were topsy-turvy, but here we are together, all together. And Sanders around here somewhere. So he missed the family photo.
Oh, no. What are we going to do?
If he comes through here, we'll get another. We'll do it again.
Where is he?
I don't know where he is. Okay. Okay. Let's crush it, you guys. Thanksgiving, it's here. And, so wonderful. It's good to see you guys here. Okay. So I'm all distracted by this, guys. Let me bring on my dad, and you can meet the daddy-o. Okay. So now as he scrambles to sit in his chair, because I can see him and he knows I'm talking about him. So this is my daddy. Okay. And so the thing is, we're going to interview him not today, but this was our testing out the tech to just see if it works. And so that when we do have the interview, we're not like worried about the microphone or whatever else because we've already tested it. And the reason he's going to do the interview when he does is he has an extreme kind of health recovery story that relates to he had a septic staph infection when I was in my diet grind. It He had an infection in January of 2018, and we did think we were losing him. I mean, for sure. And the amount of PT he needed to do, okay, is extreme. And so he'll be talking about that. Because I did you guys see Dwayne Britton in the group in the big Facebook stories group? He was one of our original members from back in, I don't know, the fall of 2018. And he is right now in this kind of big PT situation. And so when I saw that, and I thought, we need to hear Dad's story because my dad has a really great story about that. But anyway, but we're not talking about that today because we're talking about gratefulness. Or maybe you can, Dad, give us a little preview if you feel about, you've got to have some gratefulness after that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, I introduced to y'all Dwayne Rose. Rose, yes, there's a reason we're both named Rose. He's the cause of it. There you are, Dad. So, Dad, you're now on speaker, but I can hear a little bit of a like feedback, and so I'm going to mute myself. If you can imagine, Dad, me being mute and not talking. I don't know if you can imagine that. And so
That's hard to even consider.
yeah, right. And so I'm going to mute myself and we're going to see how your audio and all that is. And you can tell us what you're grateful for or any message of gratefulness on this holiday season. And I will go mute right now.
What am I grateful for? You know, she gave me a lot of advance notice on this. I just want you to know that. And of course, I can go back to 1998, and Amanda. I know you call her Amanda. We call her Mandy, and so that's a confusing thing for an old guy, But I can go back to 1998, and Mandy was around at that time. And anybody who was around in 1998 had basically checked me off the list. I had gone to the doctor. I had a heart rate of 36, and the EKG was just crazy. And so anybody that would look at the situation that I was in 1998 would have bet big money, and it would have been a smart bet that I'm out of here. And sometimes we have a choice of whether we live or die. Sometimes. Now, obviously, there's a time when we don't have a choice. But sometimes you're in a situation where if you make the right decisions, you're choosing to live, and it's actually a choice at that time. So that's what I did that summer. It was the summer of 1998. I went through a process of choosing to live. And it wasn't really an easy choice. Just checking out would have been a pretty easy kind of thing. But I just didn't feel like that I was done yet. And there were family members that I hadn't met yet. You saw two of them, for instance, and so I chose to live. And between then and now, Mandy would say to you that there's been at least 3 or 4 other times that she and others had checked me off of the list as well. And the last one was what she was talking about with the cellulitis in January, I guess, of 2018. And I went from 2 days of my ankle being swollen up some and red, to being in the hospital, not being able to lift my foot off the bed. And so I guess that's something that we'll talk about at some point in time, and go through the process of dealing with that and how you might deal with that, and and the work that's required to do it, and the belief that you can get better that's required. So we'll look at that. But what I'm thankful for, of course, is family. You know, I have two daughters. Uh, you may well know both of them. Kimberly works with Mandy some on the Eat Like a Bear, in that community, and of course two grandsons uh, that are alive and well, and are making us proud. And so, I'm very pleased about that. Um, I'm pleased with the dad that they have. He's been a good father for them, and all that kind of thing isn't something that just always happens. And so I'm really pleased about that, and I'm pleased about the last. Well, you go back to 1998, so I guess that's 25 years. I'm pleased about the things that I've learned personally, the ways that I've been able to grow in areas when it comes to just compassion for people who need healing and restoration. Uh, and of course, that needs all around us. And of course, that's what Eat Like a Bear uh, um, deals with, really, is process of restoration. Where you're in a place, and you're in a hard place, you're in a dark place. When you weigh um, 350, 400 pounds, and I've been there, um, then you um, it's like uh, it's kind of like you're in this jail where you don't have any freedom, and somehow you need to break out. And and that's kind of the way it is with the whole lot of areas in life. Sometimes we're between a rock and a hard spot, and we're not sure how to break out. And as we choose to do the breaking out, and choose to do what we know, and choose to learn from other people, and choose to listen to kind of the inner voice that's in us, and we respond in a positive way to very difficult decisions, then we tend to grow, and healing and restoration tends to come. If there's any to come, it'll come as you respond to the difficult situation that you find yourself in. Often, like when I got the cellulitis, I had absolutely no idea how I got it. I asked the doctors and all that; they had no clue neither. And, of course, I wanted to know because I didn't want to do it again. I thought, man. And so I had no idea what I did to get that. But I did know that the only hope was the way that I responded to it. And of course, that's the way it is with the Eat Like a Bear community. When we find ourselves in a difficult situation, okay, we're there. That's just a reality. And the hope is in the way that we respond to it. And of course, the hope is in the why, isn't it? The hope really is in the why. And so I'm I'm extremely thankful for the Eat Like a Bear community, because I look at it, and 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 the road that people are traveling um, in that community is a road that I'm extremely familiar with, and and I know what the hope is kind of on the other end. And so I'm thankful uh, for the number of whys that that have developed in my life, that I've chosen and been able to choose and begin to walk in, because we all need to have a why. And as we get older and we're limited in some ways, we still need to have a why. The things that I can't do at this moment in time anymore. I can't go out and build a deck. I'd like to do that. I like to do that kind of thing. But what I can do is I can teach. And I'm a retired school teacher, and I've done some teaching to churches and things like that. And so um, much of the time I prefer building a deck, but I can't do that. So I do some teaching, and over the last 25 years, have as a response to that, I guess, have developed a program of teaching that's probably at least 600 pages of teaching material, and that's been a great process. It's been a growth process, and it's probably one that I wouldn't have gotten into quite as much if I hadn't had problems in other areas. And so, what you do, you see, as you go along, as you look at the things that you can do, and you get into those things, and it makes a difference for you and for others, because we all need to have a we all need to have purpose. And sometimes when you're 83, and that's what I am, sometimes when you're 83, you can think, well, I just need to kind of sit in the shade and just wait. I mean, um, what, I have 3 more days or something? Well, I don't know. I'm looking forward to 20 years, but if I just have 3 days, I still have a purpose for those 3 days. So you see, but we need to have long range purpose, even as we get older, because we need to have some place that we're going. Because if we don't have some place that we're going, then we're going to just kind of almost end up anywhere. And we don't want to end up anywhere. So we need to continue to have purpose, look ahead. We need to continue to have a why. And so I'm thankful uh, for the last 25 years, and the fact that I've been able uh, to be around for that, and I expect to do some more.
Yeah. You were just 48 back in 1998. It's kind of
58,
amazing.
58.
Oh, 50. Okay, right. Okay. I'm like, yeah, okay. So, so for people this week who are maybe laid up, who feel like yeah, I'm going to mute my dad because we're getting some kind of strange feedback, but who are laid up or maybe just are feeling the kind of the despair of what maybe that they've lost. And what you're saying is a focus on what you do have. So not only being grateful for that, but maybe then creating a path to leverage it and use it. And that you're saying, that that's what you've done. And so while he'd rather build a deck and, or dad, let me just say, or rather have a giant brush fire on the property. And he's muted. He can't talk. But I'll tell you what, when we're in some other, dimension after we've all passed and we're hanging out, my daddy and I were doing burning. Forget about the deck. That's like, so what about the deck? We're burning, and we're burning everything. That's what we're doing. And eating the bologna sandwiches. I don't know if you guys see, I made a video on my Facebook personal profile about Janetta, and Janetta is my dad's first cousin. And I had a bologna sandwich in her honor. And so, yeah, my dad and I will be up there eating the bologna. Maybe not too much. Or maybe there, the bologna, it won't make us fat. Okay. So having that mindset this coming week as we reflect of the things that we do have, because we always have something. We do always have something. And so I'm going to bring up Georgia and Anna. And, but you know what, let me unmute you real quick, Dad, because I feel like maybe you want to say something a little bit more, because that he's a Rose. And but then I might need to mute you again because you're getting some strange feedback. But that's fine. That's good to know because we're testing for your interview. I'm unmuting you now. There you go.
So am I on or off? I'm on. Oh, okay. I'm just not ever quite sure. Uh, I'm
Okay, just as a little tangent, I'm going to show we got a question from Lana. So hi, Daddy. So awesome to see you here in this live. I remember Amanda knew how to extended fast from watching you over the years. Is there anything you can share about extended fasting? I've built up for extended fasting for autophagy healing. And let me just add here that yeah, the Thanksgiving holiday season could be a really great time for an extended fast because that would just like you could sail right through all the temptations. But we're getting feedback, so I'm going to mute myself. And if you want to spend just a minute or two on that, but I want to bring up Anna and Georgia and check in on them. So, but I'm going to mute myself now, Dad. And you're unmuted. Okay.
so I'm on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The fasting is kind of an interesting thing. That takes me back to kind of maybe 1986, somewhere along through there. And Mandy was in high school, and I was we were in California, Hot Springs, where she lives, and I was commuting to Delano High School to teach. And I was driving down one day, and I used the time going down the mountain just to be quiet and to pray a little bit, that kind of thing. And as I was going down the mountain, I got really a weird sense, and the sense that I got was that that I needed to fast for 40 days. And I remember just laughing out loud. I thought, I wonder where that came from. That's ridiculous, because I was thinking, I'd heard about people fasting for 40 days. Some uh, very mature Christian leader or something sometime would do that kind of thing. But here I was, little old Loki boy, driving to Delano High School, thinking that's what I heard. And so, as when I got down there, I thought, okay, I need to kind of play with this a little bit, and so I fasted that one day, and then I went ahead and fasted another day, and another day, and another day, and what I learned in the fasting, to try to answer your question, is that nobody fast for 40 days. You just simply don't do that. What you do is you fast for one day, and you just happen to do it 40 days in a row. So what I'm saying to you is that when it comes to the fasting, take it one moment, one day at a time, and deal with it, and worry about tomorrow when you get there.
Okay, and let me also add, and I'm going to mute you, Dad, just because of our feedback. But also, you guys, people are going to ask. I know they're going to say, "Do you have to fast for 40 days?" Well, heck no. Oh my gosh. The point is, I have a video on this channel and it talks about how I grew up around people who fasted. And so I gave my dad as an example. But the key thing in that video is I talk about how really the thing for me was how I came off the fast and implemented a one meal a day model. And so like leveraging the clean the slate opportunity of a fast, and you don't need 40 days to clean the slate. In fact, that should be under a doctor's care, by the way. That's a very long fast. And then the key thing is what you're doing. Dad, we need to have you on here. We need to maybe a second interview that's just about this and maybe some other extended fasters here, because a really big issue with extended fasting is what are you following it up with? What is the eating that you're going to be doing after? Because that's where, my dad could he could have extended fasted right up until today, okay, and then ending his 40 days just a few days ago, gradually transition into the food, and then he could just let it rip during Thanksgiving break and then gain it all back. So, yeah. Right, Dad?
Yeah, plus. And
Yes.
yeah. And and when I did that 40-day fast, uh, it was for spiritual reasons. Now, looking back, it would have been a really good idea if I'd used it for weight loss purposes, but I didn't do that. And so after the 40-day fast was over, and it takes you about a week or 10 days after not eating anything for 40 days to get back to where you can eat kind of regular. And actually, that part of it is more difficult than anything else because you're eating a little bit instead of nothing. And at the end, and the interesting part was at the end of the 40 days, I was stronger physically than when I started, you see. But I didn't use it for weight loss, and I should have. I didn't even consider it. That wasn't my purpose at that particular time, and I certainly could have used it, and should have used it for that purpose. But no, the only reason that I fasted for 40 days is because I just had a real sense that I needed to do that. And and I'm not quite sure why. Uh, and I would have never done it if I hadn't felt like that somehow I was supposed to. And it's not really a good idea to do something like that just because you want to show somebody that you can, because and that's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. And the thing that's most difficult isn't fasting. The thing that's most difficult is developing the habits that you need to live a healthy life, um, with the habits that you've developed over years and years. And we have to break those habits, and we have to replace them with something else. And of course, that's what you're doing with Eat Like a Bear, is that you're taking those old habits and those old ways of living, and you're really causing them, in a sense, to die. Those you're giving those old habits. You're dead. You're gone. It's over with. I'm not going to follow you anymore. I'm going to follow this new plan, and I'm going to make a choice to do that today, many times when you need to, and you can make that choice every day. And you do need to make it every day. Get up and make the choice every day. Choose it every day. Choose it and choose it and choose it. You have to really choose it and really dig in. If you choose it every day and really dig in, you'll get there.
Well, and today is a really good day to really sit back and make those choices, because if we don't deliberately decide about what we're eating tomorrow or the next day or whatever it is, that, yeah, we're going to just eat all the stuff because that's what we've done all these years. It's what society tells us we're going to do. And it's what part of us always wants to do. And so doing something different really takes that conscious decision and that effort. And so so people who are going to venture out into the big world of eating should take today and work on that choice. And people who are maybe holed up and limited in what they're able to do, and maybe they're feeling despair about not being able to get out, that this is the time to especially focus on the gratefulness for what you do have. Because what my dad has had is 25 more Thanksgivings than any of us would have bet that he would have. It's funny. We'll be sitting around a family table, and he'll tell this story. We'll have to get this line like forever documented here when we do your interview, Dad. But he'll be sitting around the family table, and he says, there have been four times where Mandy has just been sure that I was about to check out. And then he'll look right across the table at me and he'll say, Mandy, one of these times you're going to be right. I believe he says, but Mandy, don't worry. One of these times you're going to be right. Okay. So he's had, so in terms of gratefulness, I mean, my golly, right? So,
Yeah.
and 1998, that was the time I mean, with a heart rate of almost 0. I
36.
mean, so you were, I mean, it was a scary time, and you were very limited at that time. And so, okay. Well, let's bring up Anna and Georgia, but we're getting feedback here. I'm going to mute you, Dad. You can't yap because you're going to be muted. We're going to see him talking, like his lips moving, and we won't be able to hear him. That'd be kind of funny. Okay. And I'm going to add Anna and Georgia to the stage, but I'm muting you, Dad, and adding. Oh, I muted Anna. Okay. No. Okay. Hey, Anna. Hey, Tino. There's Tino back there.
Amanda,
Let's all wave to Tino.
Wave to Amanda, Tino. No.
I gotta make a perfect bow.
Oh, he's putting his boots on for work. See, he's tying.
Oh,
tying his
okay.
laces.
Hey.
There's his boot.
All right. Oh, and Georgia's muted. We'll hear from Georgia in a bit. But how you doing this morning, Anna? And what are you
I'm
grateful
doing
for?
good, and I'm thankful for that guy right there. I'm thankful for him because it's hard to go to work every day. It just really is, and he does a good job. And he cares about us, and I'm sure there's lots of days he'd like to just say, forget it, I'm not going. But he does it. So I'm very thankful for him. And we've been married how many years?
2.
Don't you dare say too many. Over 30 years, let's just say. So yeah.
Let's say because we can't remember.
Because we can't remember at this very moment. Like I sometimes I forget how old I am too. So yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I don't even know, like we were talking and everything, and now it looks like it's only Tino's going to be working, Sarah's going to be working, Adam's going to be at with his girlfriend's family. So I don't even know. Maybe Miranda and I will just go for a walk and be thankful and just look at everything and smell everything.
That's very frugal.
And we just, I don't know. It's just, there's different times for different things. I remember one Thanksgiving, I was with my dad. I was pretty young. I was like in my late teens. And I was with my dad and his family. And we were going to visit some friends for Thanksgiving. And the car broke down. Brand new car, had a cracked head, had to send it back to the dealer. We ended up at a restaurant that was open, the only restaurant that was open in Petaluma. And that's where we spent our Thanksgiving that year. And you know what? I remember that one. I remember that Thanksgiving because it was different. And yeah, I love and miss the Thanksgivings I had with my grandmother when she was alive, and we would all go there. I mean, and she would cook, for days, and it was just a warm place and smiling faces of people who love us. And I think about those times. I still have those times. They're right in here. And I appreciate these times too, because I got that guy and I got those other people who are all over the place, and they're doing well enough to be all over the place. They're, so I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful to see you all here too. Yeah.
Well, I'm thankful for you, Anna, and I just realized I was unmuted. So, okay, sorry.
No problem. I have the headphones on, so.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Tino. And now Lisa says, I am determined to make good choices tomorrow. That's awesome, Lisa. And I think even just typing it in is key. And maybe other people, will you type in what your intentions are for this weekend? And when we speak it out or type it out, it helps with our own mindset and kind of getting in that groove and saying, yeah, that is what I'm going to do, and seeing it like that new way. Basically, it's so easy to just fall back into everything that we've been doing. And Sue says, I'm back on track, just veggies and turkey for me. Yeah, yeah, I mean, and to have a boundary like that, so turkey, veggies, boundary, that's beautiful. Other people will have different boundaries. A boundary, have an exit plan. Gotta have gotta have an exit plan, because we know where this goes real quick when the one day turns into the weekend, into the 3 months and 900 years. Okay. Well, um, yeah, Debbie says good choices in portion control. So bulk up on the vegetables and stuff like that, so that you can get to satiation. Because I'll tell you what, if you can't, and you just see all these temptations, boy, oh boy, that gets hard. Real hard. Real hard. Okay. Georgia Bear, how you doing? Let me see. I'm gonna mute myself. Let's see. Daddy's muted. I'm gonna mute Anna, and I'm gonna mute myself so we can hear your report, Georgia. It's so good to see you this morning. All right.
Good to see everybody. First, I've got to say that Papa Rose, I see where Amanda gets her awesomeness. Absolutely. I'm even writing just about everything you've got coming out of your mouth. I'm writing it down. It is about restoration. I'm sorry. We do have to have our why. That's what I was doing that earlier. We do have to have our why. We need to remember not to lose our purpose. It can be easy when you're struggling and you're trying to make it through. But if you keep that purpose in mind, you keep that why in mind, it makes you want to lean towards those right choices. It helps drive you to do what you know you need to do. It's going to be a rough weekend, because today, after the live and everything, I'm going to have to be cooking, and it's going to be cooking 3 things that I will not be tasting anything, nothing. Absolutely. It is not going to go in my mouth. And it's like you said, it's about boundaries. I've got to have that boundary. I've been doing really, really good this week, even with all the stuff that's going on, life stuff. I've been doing really, really good, and I've been really proud of myself. So I'm going to continue on that path. But I mean, everything that you said, Dad, it's true. It's true. And I am thankful for your daughter, both of them. And I'm thankful for everything that she's brought to me. I'm thankful for everything in this bear community, because it's what strengthens me, and it's what helps me keep going no matter what. And today is my 4-year bear anniversary. So, yeah. So thank you. Thank you, Papa Rose. You're amazing. And I wish you 20 plus more years at least, to keep making this young lady just amazing for all of us. And I thank you.
So Virginia's been back there waving, so she showed up. Like, okay, we got to get Virginia in on the party too.
I was just clapping, yay! And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Congratulations, Georgia, on your 4 years, and you're just an amazing person that we all look up to and appreciate you. And I want to say, Papa Rose, Georgia, you stop it. You're making me cry. Stop that. Papa Rose, your story has given me so much strength and so much hope. Um, I'm sure you probably don't even know um, what my husband and I have gone through in the last 4.5 months, but your story of that perseverance and just recovery have been so important to me right now. Um, we're still in the thick of it, but I see progress every day, and I just hold out hope that we're going to get to the other side of this and look back and go, hey, that wasn't so hard, because right now it is. But I'm hoping that day will come. And my husband, it's funny, your story about fasting for 40 days. He didn't fast for 40 days, but he did fast in his younger days before I met him. And so when I found Eat Like a Bear, and I sort of gingerly said, these people only eat once a day. Are you okay with that? And he was like, oh yeah, no problem. And so we started doing that. And thankfully, the 40 plus pounds that he lost was very helpful when he got around to having the surgery that he had 4 months ago. And right now, he's not able to do the 1 meal a day fasting. His doctor hasn't approved him to go back to that yet, because his protein levels are kind of low. And so I have to work on giving him, protein shakes and bars and things that will raise that up. And he still eats with me that 1 meal a day, but eventually we'll get back there. It's something we both want to do and we enjoy doing. And so, we'll get back to that. And I think once he gets kind of over this hump and we can start doing the 1 meal a day fasting again, very, cleanly fasting, then I think I'll see even more progress for him. I believe that. So I know that this way of eating is an amazing way of healing so many things. It's just amazing. But I just want to say thank you so much for your story. It's incredible. I have so much to be thankful for. And I'm not just thankful on this one day a year kind of thing, but I have so much to be thankful for. And this community is a huge part of what I have to be thankful for. They held my hand through all of it.
Okay. Virginia, thank you. Thank you. And yes, so Dad, so we're getting you on the interview soon so we can really hear the details of this, because I think a lot of people listening don't realize the starting place that you had in that physical therapy and the progress against all projections for you, and like the new life you were able to craft from your own hard work and focus. And as a little spoiler, he will tell you, I mean, that it was really hard work and that he had to do the work through the, you know, kind of the against all odds kind of thing. And like the mindset of doing that when basically all of science or whatever is telling you that you can't. So what is the kind of mindset that we need to have to stay focused and to push through that? So we'll get you on, Dad, and we'll talk about that, and maybe a second separate one, since we now know how much Dad can talk. It'll be a second separate one on the extended fast. But is it any surprise that this talking, Dad and me, I'm just saying, someone got it honestly, is what I'm saying. So, and Rosie, yes, Rosie, it's all about hope. Like Mr. Rose said, one little spark of it can work miracles. And so, speaking of interviews, so maybe we need to interview Rosie as well. So, this would be a good time in the next few weeks to just try to, before like the craziness of January, to try to get some interviews done, and so that we have those out there. They have been great. The interviews have been really, really great. So, yeah. And yeah, Judy had a real knowledge bomb. Let's see up here. I'm scrolling up. She says, I'm realizing I don't need to be good. I need to be normal. And so for the activities and behaviors that we have, that this is how we live. So rather than that, oh, that's me being good. No, that's who I am now. These choices, this way of eating or the way I'm structuring my life, this is my life. How it is. So yes. Just scrolling down. Okay.
I do want to say one thing to Papa Rose. You're looking good. You really are.
Well, so the Daddy-O there, I think topped the scales at what, about 350. And in the process of, you'll hear, he'll spill the tea on his weight loss, but and I'll be curious, Dad, you can think about how you'd answer this, not today, but in your interview, about what knowledge you've gotten from Eat Like a Bear that you've then adapted to kind of make things a little bit easier for yourself. But I found a photo of Dad after the one from the famous trip to McNally's where I was going to buy the burgers and then you bought the burgers. There's photos of that. And so I told him, hey, come with me. We'll go on this day trip. We took the kids and it was really nice. And I said, oh yeah, I'll buy the burgers. This is great burger place, Dad, I'll buy. And we get over there and they only take cash and I have no cash. I'm like, hey, Dad, do you have some cash? I've never lived that down, ever. But there's photos. And that was about 10 years ago. And noticing that your weight at that time, you weren't at your high weight, but noticeably larger than you are now. And so I know we kind of joke too, because, the Daddy-O there is 83 and you're at the weight that you were about 30. And then our joke, let me just bring Dad on, like unmute Dad to say, Dad, your current weight and how that current weight looked on your 30-year-old self. Let's hear a little commentary about that.
Well, you saw a picture of me when I weighed about that much on a bicycle. And I remember your response thinking, well, look at that, because I had my jeans and t-shirt on and I was looking pretty good. Well, if I was on that bicycle today, you would think, what happened to him? So we as we get older, we may go back to our high school or young adult weight, but it seems to be distributed rather differently. But that's okay. We'll take it.
It was Ann Devon in the Eat Like a Bear Stories group in Facebook who got to her high school weight of like 120 or whatever it was. And her comment was so hilarious because she said, oh, look at me, like my high school weight. And then she said, but 120 looked a lot different when I was 20 years old or whatever it is. And it's so true because there's my dad, because you're now at about 225 or something like that. So there he is. Your football playing weight in high school was probably more 180 to 200, I'm guessing, something like that. Now he's really muscular, keeping that in mind, really muscular. So this real muscular guy wearing a tight white t-shirt and getting off a bike. It's one of those old family, like the home movies. And that's just kind of, all pixelated and whatever else. But there's Dad like on the bike. And I didn't even know he'd ever ridden a bike. He's got like this tight white t-shirt on and jeans and like, holy crap. Anyway, that's his current weight. Yeah, Dad, I don't know. I don't know if you want to recreate the movie. I'll unmute you.
It was back. It was back in those days um, when I ended up wrestling. Am I actually on? Yeah. Okay. I ended up uh, uh, in a. We had an assembly, and the wrestling coach decided that the teachers and employees of the school should wrestle the wrestling team. So he came to talk to me, and I ended up wrestling the unlimited wrestler at the high school at that time, and actually won. Back at that time. And so things were very different. Today, I'm extremely grateful that I can walk. And I'm excited about that. You know, and we ought to be excited about that. We really should. As time goes on and things change and all that, if we can walk and get around and do things, we ought to really be excited about that. And this process that we'll talk about it sometime, that's been going on for 7 years. Any time that I get a little bit discouraged, I sit down and I view myself in that bed at Lancaster, actually is where it was, where I couldn't lift my heel off the bed. And I think, okay, let's look at that for a moment and be thankful for where you are, and be thankful for where you're going as well. We need to be going someplace. Well, you see, it's not a matter of just being thankful for where we are, but to be thankful for where we're headed, where we're going, and the purpose. And um, we need to enjoy the trip, and we need to appreciate the trip, and even the challenges of the trip, because we learn from them. Challenges are difficult, but if we um, approach the challenges in a positive, life-giving way, um, good things result.
So, Dad, what are you going to do today, or maybe this week in general, to get out and like remember that gratefulness, to have that forward-looking view? Real quick, just what one thing might you do this week? Oh, wait, he's
That,
muted. Okay, there you go. You're on.
what am I going to do this week? Well, I'm going to get up in the morning, and I'm going to drink 2 very, very slow cups of coffee in my favorite cup. And I'm going to think about where I am and where I was, and I'm going to look forward to where I'm going. And I'm going to take some time and appreciate where I'm going before I get there, because it's important that we do that. It's important that we do that, because if we can look ahead and actually in our minds enjoy where we're going, then the price that we have to pay to get there doesn't seem to be nearly as large. And so that's kind of what I do every day to start with, because we need to kind of get our feet on level ground, and we need to establish that right up front in the morning. I do that over a cup of coffee, and and just spending quiet time. Uh, from a Christian perspective, you spend the quiet time and prayer time, and you pray prayers of thankfulness, and you look ahead for what you can be thankful for. Um, the life that's coming, because every day has life in it. We need to enjoy the life that's there, instead of chewing on all the problems. If you want to chew on the problems, there's all kinds of problems to chew on. I pray about the problems, but I sure don't chew on them. They don't. They don't taste very good. Um, it's not like eating biscuits and gravy, so just forget that. And so that's kind of that's what I try to do each day and generally do, and it just makes a difference. And um, I still need to get and will get um, a little bit more mobile than I am. And while I appreciate where I am, I'm not done yet. None of us are done yet. Enjoy the trip. And you know, uh, I do that around a cup of coffee because when I was growing up, um, we would sit around the table in the kitchen. Usually, the men most of the time, uncles and so forth, and tell stories. And um, and they were interesting stories. They were great storytellers. And and basically we were sitting around the table just visiting with each other, just having fellowship, you know. And we always did that around a cup of coffee. And so I grab a cup of coffee and sit down to have fellowship. And it's just a historical kind of thing. And my dad had an interesting statement about the stories. He said, you know, Dwayne, he said, you need to know the difference between a good story and the truth. And I said, well, how's that? How would I know? He said, well, he said, a good story just keeps getting better all the time. And they did. I'd hear these stories over and over, and they just kept getting better. They were just good stories, but they were wonderful. And so, you know, it's time. It's good to get our feet flat on the ground at the very beginning of the day, you know, and be thankful for where we are and look at where we're going and head in that direction.
Just unmuted myself. I want to put, you've gotten all kinds of love in the comments, Dad, but I want to put Jennifer's comment up because she says, I don't want to enjoy the journey anymore. I just want to be there. Are we there yet? And I mean, how absolutely, absolutely. The thing is, I've been struggling with this with myself. I'm going to mute my dad because I think we're getting feedback, um, but trying to let go of that aspect of like, okay, just stay focused on that, you know, positive future and all the stuff that might be kind of happening around, the swirls around you in that daily implementation. How can I just let that go a little bit better? Just like, you know. And so yeah, I agree with you, Jennifer, completely. Yeah. Okay. Well, but now we want to hear, I'd like to hear from the other ladies here what maybe small thing you're going to do this week. I'm going to go out today and get out in nature and also reflect on this gratefulness. Just do the inventory, you know, all the things, because I mean, really, there's so many things to be grateful for, and you know, and just really try to get that positive future in my gaze as well. So yeah, I'm going out and I'm going to do it out there somewhere. So, all right, who'd like to comment? Okay, on Anna, I'll mute myself. Go for it.
Well, for one, Papa Rose, you are awesome, and I want to do what you're doing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reflect too. And when you were talking, I did reflect, and I remembered that 33 years ago today, I needed an emergency appendectomy, and the appendix exploded as they were taking it out. That was 33 years ago today, and as you were talking, I just remembered that. So I have a lot to reflect too. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Wow, I mean, that's interesting. And then and it's George's bearversary too today. Like what is it? There's something special about today, I wonder. Interesting, huh? Huh. Okay. Well, speaking of bearversaries, Georgia, so what's your plan for this week in terms of gratefulness? And I'm going to mute myself and let you go.
Well, for the rest of the week, I will be able to enjoy some time with family. We don't have a lot of us left. I only have one aunt of my mom was one of 12. So there's only one left of all them, and all the spouses are gone too. and there's just a few of us cousin where we used to get together. It'd be 30 to 50 people. Now it's about 10 or 12. So it's gone down a lot, but I'll be very thankful for that. And then just come back, and I've decorated my gate for Christmas. And because we're in the RV, we don't have room for a tree or anything like that. So I got to decorate our front cattle gate and everything. So just being thankful. And I am going to reflect and go over and everything that I wrote that Papa Rose said, and Virginia said, and Anna said, and you said. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to read it 20 times and just make it a part of me, and just continue to be. Here's to 4 more. I'm not going anywhere. I will not be defeated.
Wonderful, Georgia. Wonderful. Okay. And writing it all down. I think if we could all try to write it down, because I write stuff, but I could write stuff a lot more. And especially a day like today, where we're all focused, we're all going to go do this thing, write it down for your future self to read it. That's amazing. Virginia, what's up for you?
Well, I am, hang on 1 second. 1 second. Okay. That's my happiness right there. And my looking forward. So we have one more day of an infusion and then we're done. Yay. That's been quite the thing for 6 weeks. And when you said, Papa Rose, you mentioned not being able to move your foot in the bed and where you are today. And I do my best to remind my husband where he's come from. Like, he's come from that point of not being able to move to being able to move. And so while it might not be the kind of movement he wants yet, we're moving in that direction. So, and then I also have to, we cooked just this little turkey breast because it's just the 2 of us. So I got to get my turkey breast, got to go look at the directions again. Like, I forget every year, do I have to take it out or does it go in frozen or what? And turkey breast and mashed cauliflower and green beans and some salad, and that's Thanksgiving dinner for us. And just definitely looking at, getting outside and being in the sun when I can, because even here in the high desert, even if it's cold temperature wise, the sun is out and you can find a spot in the sun that you'll sit there for a minute and go, wow, it's hot out here. So the sun is always my friend, and so we tend to do that. And I am working on a piece of art right now. It's a commission. I'm painting a guitar again, so it's my 3rd one, and I love it. Like, it's my happy place to do art. So I'm gonna try to work on that over the next couple of days and see if I can't get it close to finished. So that's what I'll be doing.
Oh, I'm muted again. Okay. Okay, you guys. So now, our video chat is coming to an end. And those of you who are in the deep den, if you haven't figured out how to get into the Project Hub, and bye-bye, Virginia, then this is a really, really good day to do that. And so, in fact, come on soon. So it starts at daily at 10 a.m. for kind of chatting, but you can show up a little early, get a project going. And but this, what we call the Project Hub, has kind of morphed over time. And so increasingly at the top of the hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, that it's a time to chat and hang out, like check in, how you doing, that kind of thing. And so, and this is Virginia's reference to kind of leaning into the community in difficult times, is being able to come in and just kind of stay connected and to check in. And so the link is there in the description. So I know that there have been some people, notably Mary, who has had a hard time trying to navigate that. It's very simple, but requires like a few steps of clicking. It's just simple clicking. And then there could be something on the other end once you're in Zoom, like we can help you figure out how to put your camera on or whatever it is. They're very little things, and it's completely worth that little tiny little bit of like, God, I got to figure out where to click. Figure it out because it's worth it. Okay. And we'll totally help you with that. We have people who come in all the time, like wondering how to use it. That's fine. We can walk you through it.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go there right after this, even though it's early. And if nobody's there, I will put music on, and people can work on their projects. But if anybody's having trouble and they pop in there, I'll try to help you.
Because it will look a lot like this. And so if you come in and you just see Anna Sewell's empty chair and hear music, that's, she's around, but she's,
Yep.
And then just hang out and wait. And even if you can't see or hear, if you're like, oh, I'm stuck because I can't see and hear, stay there until people come in, and then they'll help walk you through it. Yeah. So yeah, totally good. Okay, you guys. So bio breaks all around. And so give Anna a few minutes at least. Should maybe not be in it
I had some
immediately.
tea. I had some tea.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bio breaks, and then jump into the Project Hub. So the link is in this description, but if you're not a member, you're not going to be able to see it. So it's for people who are members of the Deep Den.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys.
Everybody, we're alive. Just remember that we're all alive today. If you're hearing this, you are alive.
Very good. Very good. Okay. And so we will, and hopefully now have at least 2 interviews with the Daddy-O coming up, and maybe Rosie. Okay. So like, get with me, like, guys, if you're like, oh, I'm hot to do an interview. Like we're looking for you. Okay. Whew. You guys, thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for being part of this really great community. And just, spreading the love and like spreading it out, among your own friends and family, but also like feeling it here, even here in our digital community. And you guys, I love you guys. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for everyone here, everyone who's helped us get to this stage. Okay, you guys, take care. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.